Hello, my fellow TGT-II owners. Welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today Thrustmaster pulled the cover off of the new T598, and a lot of us owners of the Thrustmaster TGT-II are kind of feeling like we don't know what to feel. So let me break this down to you guys. I've got experience. I've got a Fanatec DD Pro. I've had multiple Camus direct drive wheelbases. So I kind of know how they feel. I kind of know how they react. And in all honesty, I literally bought this TGT-II 2 days ago. This is my second day with it. So I started out on Thrustmaster with a T150. I bought a TMX, then I went to the TX, then I was over to Camus Racing on their DDWB 2021. That was a 15 Newton meter direct drive wheel. Then they sent me their 8 Newton meter LP8 direct drive. Followed by the Camus C5 5 Newton meter direct drive wheelbase, then to the Camus C12 12 Newton meter direct drive wheelbase with the LC100 load cell pedals. Then I bought the Fanatec DD Pro, the 8 Newton meter version. I've also have access to a Thrustmaster T128, a Thrustmaster T248, and the Logitech G923. Also, PXN had sent me the V10, the V99, and the V9 Generation 2 wheelbases, all within the last just few years. Most of those were all within the last couple of years. So you're probably wondering, well, Frog, why did you buy a TGT-II if you already have a Fanatec DD Pro? And here's the honest truth, my friends. I wanted to test out the top of the line direct drive wheel from Thrustmaster. I've had the Fanatec now for a while. If you know me, like all racing fans, we probably have a long pedigree with Gran Turismo. Obviously, I think most of us at my age probably started out on Gran Turismo, and it is a nostalgic game that also encompasses a very well thought out and very well planned training course. Obviously, a lot of us, have started there. We do the sim racing online, stuff like that. Went through the whole, rags to riches thing multiple times with those games, and just had an amazing time with Gran Turismo growing up. So getting the Thrustmaster TGT-II is one of those wheels that you see it and you're like, oh man, I love Gran Turismo. And then you kind of you aspire to that, and then you finally get it, and then Thrustmaster comes out with a direct drive wheel directly aimed at the PlayStation 5 user base, therefore the Gran Turismo user base. Now, I can tell you guys straight up, my Fanatec DD Pro does not feel anywhere near as good as the TGT-II on Gran Turismo. Like, this wheel absolutely feels incredible. And playing between the both of them, I'm gonna do like a real dedicated video showing you guys both the wheel setups. I got the Evo Racing rim the day I bought this. I'm like, gosh dang it, it's a 320 millimeter rim. I love that. I do a lot of rally racing, so having a bigger rim is just a must for me. And so I get the anxiety of not knowing, like, okay, so Thrustmaster has a DD wheel. It's $500. It's made for the PlayStation. You got to look at it this way, guys. Just the base for the TGT-II alone is $499. $499. Now, this thing is like 6 Newton meters of power, like 6.5 Newton meters of power, and like it feels just as strong as my 8 Newton meter Fanatec DD Pro. It feels just as strong, and it's got like such a, there's like a feeling that the belt driven wheels have, and like going back to like my TX and stuff, and like thinking about like that, just those feelings, like on like gravel roads when you're playing like a rally game and stuff. Just the way the suspension, like you can kind of feel that that bounciness a little bit, like a lot more, and it feels more realistic on a belt-driven wheel than it does on a direct drive wheel. On a direct drive wheel, it kind of feels a little bit more sharp, a little bit more. Imagine Thrustmaster, you're driving through a road and you've got a softer suspension, whereas the Fanatec is almost like you're driving it with a tighter suspension, like a stiffer suspension. And I kind of like the way my car slides and it feels like it's wobbling. I kind of like that wobbling feel when I'm drifting in a rally game on the Thrustmaster TGT. I just prefer that feeling sometimes. Sometimes I like the stiffness, sometimes I love the stiffness, but what I get from the Thrustmaster TGT-II is an incredible feeling. Now, let's talk about the T598 for a minute. Now, this wheel is designed to be an entry-level wheelbase for the PlayStation, well, for the console ecosystem for the most part. You will have the ability to buy this for the PC. Early 2025, you'll be able to buy this as just the base, and then you can, like, all of your like pedals, accessories, all of that stuff are forward compatible and backward compatible. So any pedal set you own, you'll be able to use on the new T598. The new pedals, the race line pedals that are coming for the T958 or T598, those are also compatible with like your TGT or your TX, all the way down to your T150, even probably your T80. You can use those on your T80. They all have the same plug. You'll be able to use all of that, so you'll be fine. The good thing about those pedals is they are like a fully modular type deal. Like, you'll be able to adjust the brake pedal, you'll be able to adjust the throttle pedal, different spring sets for both of them. You'll be able to set them so you can have them straight up, you can have them vertical, you can have them tilted back, you can have them tilted back even more. You can also flip them around and have them inverted. So you can do pretty much everything with these pedals, and then they will have a brake, a load cell brake mod that's coming out for that a little bit later. So it is pretty cool. Like, I really do love and appreciate the fact that the Thrustmaster has built their ecosystem, and there's a lot of people out there probably like, oh man, Thrustmaster should have just ditched that plastic, went with freaking like an alloy or a metal or something like that. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Like, the plastic is what it is. It's not even like a plastic. It's like a resin filled, like it's a good material. Like, it is a good solid material. Like, yeah, obviously you can break it. You can break steel, but you know, for what you need, and obviously, like, when you're driving, you just need a light hand. You don't need to like death grip these things and like yank them and stuff like that. No, you're losing so much feeling by doing that. I like to have just like a nice light firm grip on my wheel when I'm driving. I can feel so much more vibration. If your hands are clenched, you're gonna lose a lot of that. But if you just kind of like let them like rest on it, like, you feel so much more and it feels so much better. I'm like a really big, like, the feels, I really feel that stuff, and I really, it like, I don't know, it's weird. Like, that's kind of stuff I'm like super hypersensitive to, like, the feeling, and that's why like Gran Turismo 7 has never felt good to me on the Fanatec DD Pro. It's too sharp and harsh. Whereas the Thrustmaster TGT, and you got a TGT, you know exactly how it feels. It's absolutely bananas crazy. It feels good. It's an amazing feeling game. It really is. I've struggled so hard this generation, and the first time I actually felt better playing Gran Turismo on the PS5 was with that G923 because of the freaking True Force. That's amazing. Now, that's the type of feeling that you're probably going to be experiencing with the T598. Now, you're going to get more of a haptic feedback type of feeling from the T598. Now, here's my suggestion to you. Like, you're a TGT owner, just like me. If you've got the disposable income, and I mean this, if you've got the disposable income, and depending on how much just the base is going to cost, without the wheel, without the pedals, all of that stuff. I mean, maybe you do want the pedals. The Raceline pedals, they do look really cool. But if you've already got like TCLMs, you probably don't need them. You probably don't need the new Raceline pedals, but they are fully modular. You'll be able to get a load cell for those too, and those are only supposed to come in at like $79. they're supposed to be like similarly priced to what Fanatec's pedal sets are and what MOZA's pedal sets are. They're not supposed to be like super expensive. They're supposed to be pretty cheap. They're supposed to be very affordable. I think the price is like $79.99 or $80, like something like that. So they're not like super expensive. Like you can literally pick those up and then get the wheelbase. I'm assuming that the wheelbase is probably going to run you like $399. They're probably going to knock $100 off for the wheel and the pedals. Like when you see the price of the wheel and the pedals, you're going to be like, oh, okay, I get it. But the wheel rim that comes with it is 300 millimeters. It's already got the quick release for the base. Plus you get the pedals. So it's like you pay $300 or $400 for just the base, or you just pay the $400 or the $500 and you get the base, the pedals, and the wheel. That's pretty much what I would suggest doing, honestly. Just get the whole kit, because then you have everything. You've got an extra set of pedals. You've got a 300 millimeter rim. This one's 320. That's basically what I would say is your bare minimum wheel rim for rally is 300 millimeters. So you pick that setup, you get that. You can use the pedals back and forth, and then you get to experience that. And there's nothing wrong with having two wheelbases, nothing at all. I like say you're like in the middle of a race or something, and you're in like your wheel, like, because there's a lot of moving parts in your TGT. There are, like, there's no question about that. You've got belts, you've got gears, you've got all kinds of stuff in here just moving around, sensors that are going through things, and teeth and all kinds of stuff in here that could potentially break down. So yes, there's a lot more moving parts in your TGT. So having a spare wheelbase is not a bad thing. I honestly, if you can afford it, get it and keep it and have both of them. Utilize both of them, because you're gonna feel. I don't think that going from a TGT-II to a T598 is going to be night and day. Because going from this to the Fanatec DD Pro, it's not night and day. It's they're so freaking similar. It's not even funny. It's not even funny. Now going from like a TX to a Fanatec DD Pro, there's a massive difference. There's a massive difference just in torque and power and output and fine detail alone. Like there's a massive. I'm not even gonna try to lie to you. Like or try to like yeah. There's a massive difference going from the TX to the Fanatec DD Pro. But going from the TX to the freaking Thrustmaster TGT, you probably started on one of those wheels. It's a massive difference, isn't it? Like it's huge. You can feel that all by yourself. You already know that you went from a lower base to a higher base, and you can feel that. Well, just kind of imagine that the T598 is more in line with, it's like the, I mean, we won't really know until I get one and until I can really like test it out to like really tell you. But I do kind of feel like I'm gonna be getting direct drive feeling with what Logitech, with what the Logitech G923 does with the haptic feedback through TrueForce. That's what I'm expecting, and that's what I'm expecting from like the Fanatec DD Plus and all of these things. Like I expect that. That's what I expect, and that's good, obviously. But if you're happy with your TGT-II and you're doing amazing, and you got good lap times and stuff, you don't necessarily need to upgrade or you know. I would say side grade. That's what I'm gonna say. Should you side grade to the T598? Because I think they'll be fairly similar. Obviously, this is gonna feel like this is gonna have more power. The TGT-II is gonna have more power because it is technically rated at like 6.5 Newton meters or whatever, whereas the T598 is rated at 5 Newton meters at constant power with 100% plus peak overshoot. So, I mean, that thing's gonna get close. It's gonna get close, guys. Like it's gonna feel, I would say it's gonna feel fairly close for the most part. And that constant, like there's like a constant feeling that you get with direct drive, like when you're on like the Nordschleife and you're going around the carousel and you can kind of feel like your tire bouncing. There's like more of a constant like bounce feeling in that type of in a direct drive wheel that sometimes you just won't feel on a belt driven wheel. There's some of that stuff, but for the most part, guys, like it's a pretty similar feeling. I don't know if you're gonna be able, I mean, you're definitely gonna be able to feel the haptics, but you get the haptics from the transducer right here in your Thrustmaster TGT. It's got a, like, literally got a butt kicker strapped to the front of it, so you're feeling that through the frame. And yeah, guys, I don't know if you should necessarily be like, oh man, I don't think you should. I think that if anything, it's a side grade. And that's the way I'm gonna look at it. It's probably a side grade. You know, you're just moving over to the side. You're experiencing something new, and I do recommend trying something new. If you've always been on a belt-driven wheel, absolutely give direct drive a try. You've already, the best thing about it is you've already invested in the Thrustmaster ecosystem, so you can get that and utilize that with all of the things that you've already bought for your TGT. So you're just basically getting yourself a new wheelbase, some more pedals, and you know, a new wheel. I think it's a good investment to try direct drive. But I still love this, and I would absolutely love to still have this. You know what I mean? Like even after having the Fanatec DD Pro I've had that almost 2 years now. I've had the DD Pro almost 2 years, and I still love the Thrustmaster feeling, guys. So, all right, if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thrustmaster has agreed to send me out the T598, so I'll be able to give you an accurate review on that. I'll be able to test it out right here with all the games that I play, a bunch of rally games, everything. I'll test it out and I'll give you guys my honest opinion on it. I do feel like it's gonna be. I feel like it's gonna be good. I do. I feel like it's gonna be good. I'm very excited for it. So yeah, it's a new addition to racing, man. That's what we love, you know. And it's newer technology. They say no cogging in there. That's a bonus, man. That's a bonus. You know, like the controlled overshoot. Because when you're in a freaking direct drive wheel and you get some overshoot, man, like it does. Especially with rally, man, it can keep you on your toes. But like if they can control that, like they say, I'm excited for it. But yeah, guys, I don't necessarily think you should worry too much if you're a TGT-II owner. I feel like you're going to be all right, honestly. But I would recommend trying it, honestly. Yeah, it's $500 for the wheels, the pedals, and the base. That's good for a direct drive wheel. With the functionality that Thrustmaster has and the compatibility with games that Thrustmaster has, absolutely worth every nickel. Every nickel. I'll tell you what, those Camus wheelbases that I had, yeah, man, it was pretty spotty, man. Like most of the time, you're literally there trying to figure out how to get it to work with your game. Or with the PXN, nothing literally doesn't work on a lot of stuff. So I don't know, guys. I would prefer to buy the Thrustmaster and get the actual freaking support. So, all right, we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Have fun.